So my video today is rain and the workarounds. So workarounds can mean two things. You can be working around in that you're trying to do your hay while the sun's shining and not raining. So sometimes you don't have those windows, especially for myself that I work a full-time job 6 days a week. So there's not much time to get cutting, raking, and baling in. And with be living in South Jersey, we get a lot of thunderstorms during the summer months, and they just creep up on you, and it can ruin your hay. So what I've come to be accustomed to is my local farmer had done baleage for me, which worked out great for many reasons. One, it was be able to store. I don't have to have it stored inside. It's wrapped. It can sit outside for many months, snow, and I get that the net wrap nowadays, you can lay it on its side and it'd be fine. You still get spoilage that way. But that being said, the baleage works out for me, and it's a workaround, right? I can pick pretty much 2.5, 3 days in a row that I could cut, rake, tether, bale, and then wrap. The key being you bale and wrap. So that was a learning curve the first time. I started baling morning, however, ran out of twine, so on and so forth. Things happen when you're farming. Next thing you know, I'm trying to wrap when it's pitch black outside. So it was very dark, couldn't even see where the bales were, trying to wrap. So needless to say, I had some bad bales this year that I just didn't quite get enough wraps, tight enough wraps on the baleage. However, to go further, the piece of equipment you need are a little pricey. So instead of just a normal round baler, you have to have a silage special that can handle the weight and the product moisture content that makes it harder to bale up. And then you need the wrapper. Now I have. So here's the wrapper. Again, you don't have to choose this type. You can actually get a wrapper that sits on the back of a 3-point hitch on your tractor. You just need a second tractor to lift that bale up in there and then start wrapping. They usually go for new about $5,000. You can get a used one, and it works out well. Again, you have to have a silage baler, so not just any baler on the market will do baleage, so you got to look out for that. So this is the water reel. So this was my workaround for last year and 2 years ago, where spring was good, got a lot of rain, grass was growing good, my overseeding was coming up real nice. However, summer came, and although the weather showed a lot of thunderstorms, this seemed to part the river here in South Jersey and wouldn't get much. So not only was my hay not growing, my pasture fields were not growing. So one of the things I tried, were sprinklers in tandem. Then I moved on to something a little different, which was these tractors. Put two of them in tandem, spread them far enough apart that they kind of a little bit overlapped. Used to always seeing these in yellow. However, they do make them in green. And they seem to work out good. The issue would be that over time, the hoses would drag them down and they would stop. They'd still spray, but they'd stop. So that one spot would get a ton of water and the rest wouldn't. So you had to stay on top of it. And again, with me working 6 days a week, about 10 hours a day, sometimes 12, you end up not being able to move. So I went and researched and looked what were the best ways to try and water as much as possible, coverage wise. And of course, as many people know, they make these in very big, large reels for farmers. However, again, me being new to this game, I didn't realize they made them in this small of a line. So this will reach out, I believe, 200 and some feet, and then it automatically retracts however fast you set it. and it uses battery power, and it has a solar fixture on there that retracts it as it's spraying. So I reel it out at night, fire it up in the morning before I go to work, and probably around noonish, it's done spraying the length of field, and then I just move it again the following evening. Now, again, this is not the perfect answer, but it did help out to keep my pastures growing. I don't have water out near my hay field. That's something I'm looking into, but at a minimum, this at least helps my pastures grow so that the cows still have rotational grazing that I could use to keep them moving. So there's the two things. You have the baler, silage, and the wrapper that helps when you don't have the amount of time to let the hay dry when there's, let's call it, too much rain, if there's any such thing. And this is the opposite, where you're not getting enough rain to help you out while you're at work. That'll automatically shut off and capture a lot of land to be sprinkled while you're at work. So again, not awful expensive, but pricey solutions. But at the end of the day, you're paying either for hay to feed all summer long, and that's money. And over time, this will be paid for, and hopefully it's a win down the road. It's certainly not paid back in the 1 year, but multiple years. But it's something that you can come through and have when you don't have rainfall. And the others is when it's raining, that you can predict and only get your hay in a few days rather than 4 or 5.